Welcome to My Life Lessons featuring stories from immigrants. Today, my guest is Paula Beltran. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So take a moment and just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you work, anything you want to share with us before we go into the project.
Okay, I'm Paula Beltran, and I am a DACA recipient from Cali, Colombia. And right now I am the Vice President of the Greater Reading Immigration Project, where I help the community learn more about immigration, DACA, and how to advocate for undocumented students.
Fantastic. Now, for audience members that are not sure what DACA means, could you please provide that information?
DACA is Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, and it's a 2-year relief from deportation, where you can have a Social Security number, work authorization. In Pennsylvania, you can have the Pennsylvania State ID, and of course, relief from deportation for those 2 years. DACA can be renewed a couple months before it expires. The process lasts about 6 months, 6 to 9 months about, and you have to pay, the fees just went up in December, so now you have to pay, I think, $495 every time you apply and every time you renew. So every 2 years, it's almost $500 that you have to provide to immigration.
Well, thank you for that information. Let's go into the project. So when did you immigrate to the United States, and what country are you from?
So I came from Colombia when I was about 6, 7 years old.
Do you have any memory?
Yes, from Colombia, yes. Okay.
Do you have memory of the process of immigration?
A little bit. I remember my dad taking us to get the visa and take all the pictures and things like that. It wasn't, the visa process varies by person, from person to person. Ours took about 6 months, I think, to get, just to get a tourist visa to come to the U.S.
So the process was not as easy as it could be for some.
Yes, so some people get it right away, some people have to wait years. Like my aunt, for 15 years, she's been trying to get a visa and she hasn't been able to get one. So my dad, it was only 6 months. For other people, it's less than that. So it all depends on the person and what the circumstances are.
Okay, so it is all based on circumstances.
Yes.
Okay, so what was the reason for immigrating?
We wanted to come here. My parents wanted a better education for us. They wanted a better opportunity for us.
Okay, okay. And where, being here in the United States, where do you find your greatest inspiration? What inspires you here?
Well, my greatest inspiration comes from other people. My parents are a big one. They came to a country that was completely foreign to them, giving up everything, their family, so that they can provide a better future for us. My coworkers, GRIP, my mentors, my friends, they're all so powerful in their own ways that they inspire me to be better.
How are they powerful in their own ways? Where does that inspiration particularly get you, as far as that type of working environment or the type of people they are here in the States? What is it about that?
So my parents, of course, the sacrifice that they made, the will and the selflessness that they had, so they can provide a better life for us. My coworkers are all very hardworking, and we all work really hard in our own fields and what we want to do. And my mentor, ever since she met me, she's been so great to me, and she's so positive, and she's so passionate about what she believes in. That passion and that positivity, you can't help but get a little bit from it.
And do you find yourself paying that forward, learning from them?
Of course, yes. That's why I'm so involved in what I do, because they inspire me to be able to help others too.
What is your greatest life lesson?
So, based on the inspiration that I receive from everybody else, I think my greatest life lesson is to surround yourself with positive people, people that make you want to better yourself. I think that is what makes me better. Being able to, what is that called? Absorb their energy, absorb their energy is what really gets me going. So I think that's the life lesson that I've learned is by getting yourself surrounded by these positive people, you get to learn, first of all, you get their knowledge, you're able to absorb their knowledge, and everybody has a niche, everybody has something that they're good at, and you can learn so much from anybody. So I think that's what it is. I want to learn and absorb everybody.
Can you give me an example of how you've applied that lesson specifically here in the States?
Okay, so when I was in high school, I was still undocumented. DACA wasn't in place yet. So for me, it was very hard to think of going to college. I knew I wanted to go to college. I was top 10 in my class, and I knew I could go to college. If I was a citizen, it would have been a breeze. But because I was undocumented, I had that barrier. It was after getting to know what they're now GRIP members and getting to surround myself with my mentor, who is also a GRIP member now. They're the ones that pushed me forward, and they were the ones that walked me through the college application process, getting my scholarships. They're the ones that pushed me both literally and figuratively so that I could achieve my success. Once I managed to get to college and do that entire process, we helped establish a scholarship fund for undocumented and DACA recipients. This is the way that we pay it forward because I was basically the beta. There was no DACA, there was no GRIP. GRIP was there, but there was no scholarship fund. It was through the generosity of many people and scholarships that I was able to get to college. And we wanted to make that process better and easier for other students in my position. So that's where I've applied it. I wanted to be somebody else's positivity and energy. And I just wanted to be able to provide a better path for somebody else.
And you're doing that.
Trying to, yes.
Mm-hmm. So you are paying it forward.
Yes.
And being very positive.
Yes.
That's fantastic. How do you stay connected to your country's traditions?
My parents are my lifeline. They're the ones that they're both Colombian, and they were both born and raised there. And that's where I can get a lot of my culture back from. Whenever I have a question about Colombia, I just call my dad. I still have some family back there, so I talk to them. They're basically the bridge connecting me in Colombia.
Can you give me an example of some of the traditions you hold dear?
So my family, sometimes I'm able to join in, sometimes I can't, but in Colombia they do the, what is that called? La Novena, which is during the 9 days before Christmas. In Colombia, it's like this huge tradition. Everybody goes to each other's houses, and it's basically, you get to pray in a very fun way. So it's, you read a little excerpt from one of the generated prayers, and then you sing in the middle. Like people have like tambourines and maracas, and you get to sing, and then you pray, and then you sing. And a lot of the Christmas carols that you hear now, they're sung in a livelier way. So like one of my favorite ones is El Burrito Sabanero. It's so cool. But that is so small here. Here, a lot of people don't do it, and my family doesn't get together for it. It's only like my dad and my stepmom that get together for it. So it's not as fun as it was in Colombia, because in Colombia you could hardly even walk because there were so many people in the living room doing that. So it's a very nice tradition that I wish I could practice more.
Oh, it sounds like a joyful
Yeah,
tradition.
it really is. And Christmas and holidays are a lot livelier there. From the beginning of December to basically the middle of January, every weekend there's a party. It's somebody's birthday, it's Christmas, it's New Year's, it's Three Kings Day, it's somebody's birthday, and parties last until like 5 o'clock in the morning. And there's another tradition there that is called Quemar el Año Viejo, which is during the 30th, you take like an old man, stuff it with fireworks. Well, not a real life old man, but like you take like a cloth, you dress like a doll in people's clothing, and you stuff it with fireworks. Just clarifying. And once midnight strikes, you light it up, and the old man like goes on fire and everything. And it's a way to burn the old year. And once 12 o'clock strikes, you bring in like a baby, like, hey, Happy New Year.
I see. Well, thank you for sharing that. So being here, what has surprised you the most?
The main thing that has surprised me the most is how distant families are from one another. Like I've been saying, that family is very tight-knit. We all get together. There's always a party every weekend. Here, a lot of my cousins are away. They're like in Florida, they're in Georgia, they're everywhere. So it's very hard for us to get together as often as we would like because we're so spread out. So it's very different, and it gets kind of lonely after a while.
What has brought you the greatest joy being here?
So my greatest joy has been just being able to accomplish one of the goals that my family set up for me. One of the reasons why we came here is for education and for a better life. So right now I have my degree, my bachelor's degree from Alvernia. So I met one of my parents' goals, and my personal goal was to get that degree, so that it's one step towards that better career, that better future that everybody dreams of. And that's always been one of my passions, is education and being able to provide that path for others. So just by me getting my education is not enough. I want to be able to help others get their education as well.
And that brings you joy.
Of course.
If you could describe in one sentence what being here in the United States means to you, what would it be?
Being here means paying it forward. I want to be able to help others in the way that so many people have helped me. So paying it forward is what everything means to me.
We are lucky to have you here because with paying it forward, with the joy, and with being as positive as you are in the work you're doing, you've only just begun. And thank you so very much for being part of this very important project. Thank you, Paula.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
These life lessons are made possible in part by Lions and Hole Site Contractors and by White Star Tours.